Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another comedy and drama night. Tonight, I'll be reviewing The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, released in 1990. Directed by Renny Harlin, based on a screenplay by David Arnott, James Capp, and Daniel Waters. Starring Andrew Dice Clay, Wayne Newton, Priscilla Presley, Lauren Holly, Brandon Call, David Patrick Kelly, Morris Day, Robert Englund, Ed O'Neill, and Gilbert Gottfried. Now, this film, when it first came out, it was a very divisive film, and a lot of people didn't like it, and I think that was mostly because, they may not have liked Andrew Dice Clay's style of humor.
And what are your names, Neil and Bob? Is that like what you do, eh?
Yeah. And at this point, when this film came out, Dice was a very, very popular stand-up comedian, and I loved his shows. I saw his first performance ever with Rodney Dangerfield and everything on his show, and I loved that he showcased those young talents, and he did it with several of them. He did it with Roseanne Barr as well. And as soon as I saw him, it wasn't just a lot of people like to say that the only thing he had was the dirty nursery rhymes, but he had something else. He had this, just a coolness factor about him where he wouldn't be politically correct today. Hell, he wasn't even politically correct back then. But he had a charisma and a style about him that was unique and was different from other stand-up comedians. And he stood out. And that's the reason why they ended up, throwing him into this movie and everything, playing this character in here. And it makes me wonder, though, how much of the script that was written, the lines that Ford actually speaks when Andrew Dice Clay is playing him, on whether or not a lot of that was just ad-libbed by him, just him being fucking Dice. So, but yeah, he is excellent in the role of Ford Fairlane, and he gets so many good actors around him. Wayne Newton as Julian Grendel, the main, basically, villain of the piece. Wayne Newton had a way about him to be able to perform and play these kind of characters and do them very well, to where you really enjoyed loving to hate this character that he played. He did the same thing in a Bond film with License to Kill. He did it with a Best of the Best film with Best of the Best 2. And he is just so good at that. And this is no different. He did the same thing in this one. And he is excellent in here. As is Priscilla Presley as Colleen Sutton. Now, I always found Priscilla to be attractive. Even when she got older, by this point she was, a little bit older than she was back when she was with Elvis. But I always found her attractive, and even when she started doing TV stuff and everything, I liked her in that. I thought she was doing well. I thought she was a good actress. And in this, she is playing this stuck-up high society character and everything. And she does really well playing this character. She is excellent in here. And then you have Lauren Holly as Jazz, the main girl under Ford Fairlane. And her and Dice have this cool love-hate relationship together that it just works so well. They have a great chemistry working off of each other. Excellently done there. And then Brandon Call plays this kid in here, and he is such a likable little shit that even Ford, as tough as he is, ends up, really just taken to the kid and really liking him. So I think that was well executed as well. David Patrick Kelly plays one of the weirdest roles I've ever seen him play. I'm not a big fan of what he did in this as Sam the Sleazebag, but he was just doing what Renny Harlin was directing him to do. I'm not blaming David Patrick Kelly for that, but I've seen him do a lot better than this. See The Crow. Morris Day plays Don Cleveland in there, and for what he gets on screen, he does a really good job. I mean, this is a musician that really wasn't doing a lot of acting stuff, really, just occasionally, and maybe it's just TV stuff, and yet he does really well in here. And then, of course, you have Robert Englund, and me being a horror fan, I love the fact that they threw in Robert Englund playing this psychotic nut job Smiley. And this character is basically just as tough and just as badass as Freddy Krueger ever was. In fact, I think he might be tougher than Freddy. I mean, this guy gets all sorts of stuff done to him by Ford and just keeps coming back and coming at him. It was just such a great little role there. And then you have Ed O'Neill as Lieutenant Amos. He is just so priceless in this film, and I just love his little jealousy at Ford when he performs this song.
I'm all dressed up and no place to go. I got women to the left of me.
Which, man, Dice was talented. I mean, he was not only charismatic and cool in his comedy acts, in my opinion, but he had the singing talent too. He did it in some of his acts.
I'm going, and I want to see right along.
And in this film, he does this song, and it is just so damn good. But Lieutenant Amos comes up to him, and does, this talk about how he recorded a song back in the day called Booty Time.
Booty time, across the USA. Booty time.
And him singing that in front of Ford, and Ford's reaction is priceless.
Jerk off. Booty time. Boot my bowl.
I love that sequence. I love the chemistry between Ed O'Neill and Andrew Dice Clay. They work really well off of each other in this film. And then you have Gilbert Gottfried as Johnny Crunch, the former friend of Ford's who ends up getting killed. And it's basically the case that he is, this is a murder case story, but the personality of Ford Fairlane is just so unique. This turns like a Columbo style of a TV show kind of a thing into something very unique because of Andrew Dice Clay's personality as a person, as a character. So I think Dice did a great job in this film, and I think this is a very underrated, very fun murder mystery film, and very well done. So, my final review for The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I am going to give this film a 9.3 out of 10. This is a damn good, very fun comedy, and I think it deserves much more mentions than the bullshit worst votings that it got back in the day. But what do you think of this film? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have access to an area on the channel where you can request a movie, TV series, or ranking video of your choosing. And when that video goes up, it will go up for all Plus members to view prior to it coming up for all other subscribers on the schedule. So if you want to get interactive and help us to get more videos on this channel, become a Plus member. Well, that's the end of another Comedy and Drama Night. If you missed last week's Comedy and Drama Night, check out the link above. Or if you missed any of the videos during Comedy and Drama Night, check out this playlist and get caught up on anything you've missed.